The Honeydew with y'all. Thank you for your support. Here's Ryan Sickler.
Welcome back to the Honeydew with y'all. We're over here doing it in the NIGHTPANTS studios. You know I'm Ryan Sickler, and you know I want to sincerely thank you for your support. I can't appreciate. Hold on, let me start that over again because I can't appreciate you. Let me do that again. You can keep that clock rolling. Welcome back to the Honeydew with y'all. We're over here doing it in the NIGHTPANTS studios. I'm Ryan Sickler, and I really want to thank you for your support. I love seeing this community continue to grow. I'm very grateful. I love my job. I love sitting here talking to y'all. So if y'all can get out and see me when I'm in your city, check me out on the NIGHTPANTS Nation Tour. Tickets available at ryansickler.com. All right, now y'all know what we do. We highlight the lowlights. These are the stories behind the storytellers. Today's story, very interesting young man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt Vinson. Welcome to the Honeydew with y'all, Matt. Very enthusiastic clap for yourself, brother. Matt, thank you for being here. First, before we get into any of your story, will you please tell me where you are right now?
I'm in Michigan City, Indiana.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 32.
32. And what do you do for a living, Matt?
I was a mechanic for 10 years, but now I'm overnight team leader at Walmart.
Walmart. All right, brother. So your story starts literally with you being born. So talk to me. You were born with a club foot. Is that right?
That's correct. I was born and I had to have multiple surgeries on my foot.
Can you explain exactly what that is for you? What is a club foot for you?
Well, essentially, I was way too big for my mom's uterus. I was like close to 10 pounds.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. And my foot like grew sideways in there. So when I came out, my foot was like straight cocked to the right, really bad.
All the way like a 90-degree angle?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. But can I ask you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm ignorant to this, so I want to ask. Is it just the foot's bent, or are you missing toes? Does your foot not form properly because of the bend? Is your ankle fucked up? Like, what does that do to you physically?
It's essentially my ankle. Like, they had to break my ankle and reset it and use a piece of a cadaver bone.
Oh.
Like, I got, there's like stitches all the way around the bottom of my foot.
Do you
like
remember any of that stuff, or was it all done when you were a baby?
It was all done when I was a baby. Like, for some real weird reason, I like remember being there one night. My grandma was there, but that just had to be some like weird nonsense I had in a dream or something, or because I was, an infant. And then, I'd been put in a cast after all those surgeries. And then I was in a cast for the entire first year of my life. And I eventually learned to walk on like an old lady granny walker.
Did you?
Yeah, with little tennis balls and shit.
Everybody else has fucking got one of those little fucking toys or grabbing furniture. You're a year old on a granny walker.
Yep.
Your grandma's over there falling down and shit. Oh, that's too much.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wasn't really bad growing up or anything, but it did limit me a lot. Limit me a lot on what I could do physically, like, running, jumping and whatnot, because it's never really properly healed right. Like, my foot still sticks out to the right. Like, if you walk behind me in snow, it looks like a penguin's walking on one side.
I wanted to ask you, do you have a limp? Do you have
No, I don't really have a limp. Just my foot sideways, one leg.
A little bit like what, 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock? That's about 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe like 2:15.
Because look, I've got Charcot-Marie tooth disease, so my toes and shit don't work right all the time either. Like on one foot, I can bend my toes and only 2 of them will work. You know, I can, but if I crank them back like this and open it up, then I can get them all to go down. But I can't do this with them. Do you have any weird shit with your feet that you can't do?
I mean, honestly, no. I still got all my toe grip
rubbing it in now.
And,
he's rubbing it in now.
Yeah, you know. I don't know. That kind of set me off later in life. Like I couldn't really do any like high school sports or anything.
Okay, so stop there. Let me ask you why. Is it because you say it never healed right? Would it just be too much pressure on your ankle, or what was it? Was that what it was?
Yeah, like impact would make the joint in there, make the bone rub against there. Like if I was to, like I really wanted to be in football, and I couldn't do it. My doctor said it'd be horrible for me, but I mean,
what about wrestling?
A
lot of time on the mat.
Never even thought about wrestling.
Come on. What about swimming?
No, our school, I mean, we got a swim team, but it wasn't like that back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all right now. I guess there's a lot of stuff I didn't think of back in the day.
I'm just ruining your childhood.
Besides, I probably wouldn't look good in a singlet, have one ball hanging off one side. Shit.
So it really did affect your not being able to play. Did you get to play any sports? What about bowling? You could have bowled probably.
Yeah, I didn't think about that one either.
You were like, it's football or fuck it. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, man.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I don't know. And I really always wanted to join the military. And that, I tried every branch, Coast Guard, Marines, Army, Navy, everything.
They wouldn't take you?
Take it.
Come on.
No, I even tried to do it later in life. Like when I had like a little mental breakdown. We'll get to that later. But even after that, like even in my 20s with, mechanic experience and everything, they wouldn't even let me do anything in the military.
But did they say why? Was it because you'd be a liability to yourself, to them, both? What did they ever really give a reason?
Essentially, they pretty much just said you'd never make it through boot camp with that ankle. I'm like, well, I can turn a wrench and hold the trigger on a machine gun, man. I got it.
Yeah.
But they basically just put the kibosh on that. I forget what they called it. There's some term for it, 4F or whatever. You can't make it through boot camp. You're not physically fit for the military. I forget what they called it, but
it's interesting that the military would only, you're right though, but it would only, God, you would think they'd modify that at some point, because physically fit is one thing, but mentally intelligent, you could be a Stephen Hawking, you know what I mean, in a fucking chair, right. And you could have the goddamn mind to solve this problem or that problem, and to think that you could only get in if you can run and do push-ups and climb walls and whatever their tests are, it's interesting that they wouldn't also have a separate, like, okay, these people are physically unable, but mentally, let's give them this test here and see if they pass that, right, and use them for that.
Right. I wish they would do something like that. I'd join tomorrow.
Would you really?
You know
Even at, you said you're 32. So if right now, if they said, look, we can't use you in these, parts of the service because you're physically unable to perform, let's say, but we could definitely use you in IT. We could definitely use you, like you said, I can turn a fucking wrench and pull a trigger. We could do that. You would go?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In a heartbeat.
What branch would you pick if you had your choice?
I'd probably go with the Marine Corps.
I fucking knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say the hardcore of all of them. The Marines are the first ones in. They're the guys they throw in the boat and go up front and go. You're down for that?
Oh, yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
Okay. Tell me about your dad. You have some stuff on here about your dad.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, he was pretty much just a hardcore alcoholic. He never, beat my mom or anything that I know of. But, he would show up in the middle of the night with some broad in his car, come run in the house, snatch the money out of my mom's purse, run back out the house, and just take off.
Wait, your dad would show up at the house with another woman, come in the house, take money from your mom to take her out and leave? Oh, man.
Yep. Yeah.
What was your mom just like? Were they married?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I guess revamping all this, talking to her about some stuff. She was like, "Yeah, that bitch's name was Kim."
She knew. She knew.
I guess my dad got her some flowers and a card and shit, and then she was married too, and she left him in his fucking IROC.
IROC.
Yeah, I got one too, man. What can I say? Father like son. But yeah, she left that shit in his car, and I guess she knew where they lived, and she went and knocked on her door, and her husband answered and was like, "Your wife left this shit in my husband's car." And then, strangely, my dad's car got a hole in the oil pan a couple days later.
Shit.
Right. And then
and where did you grow up? I know you say you're in Indiana now, but is this where you grew up as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Born and bred in Michigan City. It's all right, little town. All we got is a casino. You know what I mean? But I don't know. So he was always in and out of bars and shit, and like so much so we had there's a local bar in our town called Stimley's. Growing up, asking, "Hey man, where's dad at?" "Oh, he's down at Drunk Stimley's." I was probably 13 before I realized Stimley's was a bar down the street from the house.
You thought Uncle Stimley was a person?
Yeah, I thought this
great.
was an uncle I had never met. But I don't know. He got a few DUIs, and then when he was in jail, my mom sold his IROC for like $500-600.
That's it?
Because it was in her. Yeah, it was in her name. She was like, "Fuck this dude. It needed a motor. That dude stabbed a hole in his oil pan. Motor was blown up. So she sold it for his bail money. Get him out." He was shitty, but it's pretty funny. So, I don't know. And then they split up. He had
How
to go
old
to
are you?
rehab.
How old are you when they split up?
Probably like 4 or 5. I mean, I don't really remember much. I remember there being a big fight, and then him storming out, and then somewhere or another we got a stepdad. I don't even remember how that shit happened, but there was just a stepdad there one day just kicking it. I mean, he was pretty cool. He was always nice. He was probably there till I was about 6.
That's
Got
only a
electrocuted
year.
down in the basement.
That's only like
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened in the basement?
I got electrocuted. I had this badass train set down in the basement. And I've always like played alone and shit. I went down there. I was plugging in my train set, like 5 or 6. I got my fingers on the blade. And I'm just passed the fuck out downstairs.
You passed out from it?
Yeah.
Holy
yeah, it was
shit,
just me.
dude.
Yeah, I just woke up later. I was like, "What the fuck, man?" Went upstairs crying. My train's just going 1,000 miles an hour on the track.
Oh, shit. All right, I heard you slip in there. You said your parents split and your dad went to rehab. Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
What made him finally go? Did the courts make him go, or they did?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He didn't quit of his own recognizance. That's for sure.
That court-ordered rehab's a little different.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Tell me about that. What was that like?
I don't really remember it much. He was I remember going to this rehab facility a couple times to see him when we were real little. I just remember he looked bad. He looked like he needed a beer.
You probably would agree, yeah.
Yeah. But he got out, and then they got back together. And then, pretty much spent from I don't know, I was probably 8 when they got back together. So 8 to 18. Then he wrote out on my birthday.
Wait, on your birthday? For real? On the actual day?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Walk me through that day.
Well, my birthday is January 8th, and come January 7th. Yeah, that was his new birthday for sure. But no, that's my birthday. So January 7th, that night at midnight, he just pulls trash bags out the kitchen and just starts throwing all his shit in there.
At midnight?
He's like, yep. Oh, yeah. He's like, yep, boy, you're 18. These bills are expensive. Your ass better get another job to help your mom out. I'm the fuck out of here. So.
And he left?
He just kind of, yeah.
Hold on, dude. Hold on.
Went to his mom's house.
Hold on. At the stroke of midnight, when you turned 18, your dad said, you better get a job. These bills are expensive. I'm out.
Yep, at the stroke of midnight. That dude was gone. Smoking taillights, man. That's all you seen.
That's what I'm talking about. Smoking taillights. I mean, he had a countdown going. This motherfucker's watching the clock. Not happy birthday. Not happy birthday at the stroke of midnight. Hey, I'm fucking out. Not even, oh yeah, and happy birthday. That is fucked up.
There wasn't even a happy birthday.
Oh shit, smoking taillights, bro. That is fucking great. I'm sorry. He's grabbing shit. He can't wait. All right, so wait. What happens at that moment? Does he out of your life for good, or do you still have a relationship with him?
I mean, realistically, I was pretty resentful of that shit.
Yeah,
so
I would be.
Yeah, there was I don't know, probably a couple year gap that me and him didn't talk. And then after my brother died, we kind of rekindled that. But I don't know, my brother was always his favorite, so he really didn't.
So let's talk about that. Your brother passed away. How old was your brother when he passed?
He was 28.
How did he die?
He had type 2 diabetes. He went in for pretty much a routine surgery. He had like gangrene on his big toe, but he was already missing 2 from when my grandma ran him over with a lawnmower when he was a baby.
Wait, hold on. I thought you were going to say he was already missing 2 from the diabetes. Your grandma ran over his fucking foot with a lawnmower and took 2 toes. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
They took all 5 off. They only found 3.
They were able to put him back on.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Where'd the other 2 go? If there's 3 are there, where are these other 2? What 3 did he have? What 3 did he have?
I guess it'd be his pinky toe. It'd be like his, I don't know, your middle finger one. Toe right next to you, and his big toe. So
all the balance toes and shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is too much. Okay, so not from diabetes. He's lost 2 toes from grandma's accident, and now he's got the diabetes. Is what it's starting to eat his foot.
Yeah, he really didn't take care of himself for a long time when he was a teenager. Like, you know, when you got diabetes, you got to take care of yourself pretty religiously. And he'd be out drinking, not, you know, doing his insulin, taking his sugar and shit. And then after his daughter was born, he got out of jail. He started taking care of himself a little bit. And then eventually he had neuropathy in his legs and shit. And he went in because his toe was like green, and they were gonna take it off because I guess it had like gangrene in it or something. It was real bad, infected. They were gonna take it off, and you know, it was just a routine surgery. So I went up there and seen him the night before his surgery. But he didn't seem worried or anything. You know, he was just pretty chill about it. I was like, you know, I'm leaving. Don't be a bitch. It's just a toe. You already missed it too. That's the last thing I said to him.
Nah, that's your last words.
Yeah. Last thing I ever said to my brother.
Your last words to your brother, don't be a bitch, it's only a toe. You're already missing two. That's terrible. How did you find out he passed?
My mom told me the next day.
Did you just feel fucking awful from what you said also?
Still do.
But
Like,
I'll
never miss that though.
Was it the actual diabetes the cause of death, or was it some surgery? Did something happen during surgery, like a complication?
I'm thinking that's what happened. There was never a lawsuit or anything, but my mom had like a friend at the hospital, and she said that she thinks there was something that happened, but essentially it was sepsis in his blood was his cause of death. He got a real bad infection, and then he passed. So.
Jesus.
It was quick.
Who told you? Where were you when you found out?
I think I was at home. My mom come home, and she was just bawling. Just having lost a son. It was. I can only imagine. But she told me, and then this was just 9 months after my grandma died, and then my uncle died in between there, and I watched him pass.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was a rough 2-year stint there. They were dropping like flies over here. But
what does your mom say to you?
She was like, something happened. Your brother got real sick over the night. I was out of town. This was like a day or two after the surgery. And, she was like, your brother got real sick. Something happened, and he just like faded away. Like he went, he just like went into shock, and his heart stopped, and he never woke up. And,
were you close? Were you and your brother close? Yeah,
it was really just me and him growing up. I didn't really have any friends. I was always trying to get my dad to come hang out with me and go fishing and shit. But
he was like, I'm out. I'm already fishing.
Yeah. Right.
I just didn't take you.
Right. Yeah, for real. I was fishing for pussy.
Who did you? Yeah, and my IROC. Well, the IROC got sold. Yeah. Who? Have you ever told anyone what your last words to your brother were? Did you ever tell your mom that?
Yeah, I talked to her about it. She was like, dude, there's no way to know. It's just a toe. Like you said, don't be a bitch. You're already missing two. She's like, you can't let that shit hold you down, man. Like, you can't dwell on it. She's right.
She is right. She's right. Yeah.
And she's like, sucks that it happened, but it happens. The only thing we can do is really try to, help out with his daughter.
Don't be a bitch. It's only a toe. You're already missing two. Oh, man. So, all right. Let's pause there for a second. Now your brother passes away. Does that start making Dad come around again? Because you said he was his favorite.
Does. Yeah, it does.
And what's that like?
It was, even God, he died almost 10 years ago. So, it's been, me and my dad really still don't have the best of relationship. He ran off and got married a couple other times. Now he's got a bunch of kids that are younger than my kids.
Really?
And yeah, and the chick he had him with is like fucking junkie now. She was a nurse for like the longest. Now he's got 5 kids that are all younger than mine. And he's got custody. So my mom's like, ha ha, bitch, karma. So she's loving that shit. She's pretty spiteful too. But, so, it's kind of touch and go. We've definitely been odd. When his idea of hanging out is like, hey, man, you want to go to the bar? I'm like, hey, man, you want to just like go for a ride? like not go drink. I'm not a big drinker myself, I'll fucking all day, but never been a real big drinker, 3 beers, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So it's kind of been touch and go, but he did start coming around after the funeral. I still wanted to keep him, arm's length. But
what have you ever had a real sit down with him about your brother?
I've tried, but we're kind of bottle up your feelings type of family. Like my dad was always a say it with your chest, shut the fuck up, dudes don't cry kind of dad. So, I mean, we've been kind of fighting that our whole life. I've tried talking to him, but he doesn't, every time I try to talk to him about it, he bottles up and he just avoids the subject and shit. Cause that was his boy. You know what I mean?
It's his kid. Yeah.
He just doesn't even want to talk about it. He just kind of blocks it out. But I mean, it is what it is.
What's the deepest conversation you would ever have with your dad and your mom?
Well, my mom, I could talk to my mom about pretty much anything. Me and my mom have always been real close. I mean, when we found out my brother had diabetes, they did kind of favor him a lot more. Granted, that's acceptable and to be expected, trying to figure out learning a new disease and how to have a child live with that, try to take care of him. But so I mean, really, I spent most of my time with my grandma growing up. I mean, my parents both worked full-time jobs. My grandma was, she was retired by the time I was, maybe 7. So we were always with her. So my grandma was always the one I always had, real deep conversations with. She was the one I kind of really could talk like absolutely anything about. But me and my dad have never really had a real good sit down, like, hey man, let's talk about some shit, get through some shit. But he's just not like that. Anytime you try, just nah, I'm a head out. So, but I mean, that's just how he is, I guess. I don't know. We all probably need some therapy over here, but none of us ever been in therapy except for probably him in rehab. But
you haven't been either?
No. Watching your show definitely makes me want to go, but I guess I'm just scared. I don't know why. I mean, therapy is a lot of money. Granted, I don't make a lot of money, but I could probably swing it. I'm sure where I work would, do some stuff for me.
There's a lot of good people out there that would take a cash price for a lot lower than you probably think they would. They really would. I hear you.
I mean, every place.
Listen, good for you for admitting that you're scared of it. It is. You're going to talk to a stranger about your most vulnerable, weakest, ugliest, scariest moments of your life. And, you're hoping to find some answer to whatever the fuck it is that you're spilling your guts about. So if you've never done that, I mean, man, it sounds like, again, here, you and I are having deeper conversations than you ever have with your own father. And we're strangers, really, in real life.
Absolutely.
To each other, so.
Absolutely.
Good for you. This might help you out a little bit because it's scary. And also, look, man, not every therapist is a good one. It's like dating. You might not jive with that first one, second one, whatever.
Right.
You might find that you work better with a female than a male or vice versa. You just don't know. So it's all that.
Right.
Yeah, you got to get it. Look, it's just like anything else. The only way to figure it out is to get it going. So. Look, the fact that you come from what you come from and that you're even considering it, you're still young. You said you're 32. I mean, there's plenty of time to help yourself.
Right. Right. I definitely got to owe a lot of my new outlook on my mental health towards your show, man. I definitely have to. I got to thank you for that. I think a lot of us fans are probably here for the same reason because a lot of us are fucked up, man. And your show definitely helps us laugh through some of that pain. I could definitely honestly tell you, I don't think I'd be here if your show wasn't around, man.
Jesus. Thank you for real. I do get those messages, and it blows me away every time, and I wish I could respond to every single one of them, but I really appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. It does mean the world to me. But you mentioned Walmart.
Fan, I say for all of us.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you're good.
I'm saying you mentioned Walmart. I would imagine if you dig through your benefits, and especially after, well, not even after, we're still in the middle of a deadly pandemic. I would imagine, I'd hope that they would have some sort of assistance or help, someone you could talk to through a program there. I would definitely look into that. They should have no excuse for that. They're a goddamn gazillion-dollar corporation.
Oh, they do. I've actually looked into it a little bit. They got I forget it. It's a hotline number. I called it once. It's basically like a over the phone therapy type thing, and I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'd rather do it in person. So that was another big thing. I don't know. I just feel weird not being able to see a person's facial expressions when I'm talking to somebody. That's not something I'd want to do over the phone, So, I mean, they do offer stuff like that. They do offer a lot of stuff for their employees. I mean, it's a good company. Walmart gets a lot of shit, but as long as you do your job and go, they're great, But I mean, I think I'll take a second look at it. Maybe just try it. What's the worst that can happen, right?
That's right. You mentioned on here before that you had been suicidal.
Yeah, for sure.
Why? What was going on in your world?
I met my ex probably right around 19, 20. And, we dated for a while, and I don't know, we kind of had a split, and then she called me and told me she was pregnant, said it was mine. We were, essentially split up through her entire pregnancy. I told her, whatever you need, I'm here for you. But, so I really did love her, but I just don't think she was ever really into me. But, so we were split up the whole time that, she was pregnant. She didn't even tell me that the baby was born. Of course, mind you, she was telling me this baby's mine the whole time she's pregnant. I get there. There's some other dude up there with her. So I'm already like, what the fuck? She didn't want me up there for whatever reason, but my brother had found out. My brother came and picked me up and was like, no, fuck that dude. Your kid's here. Let's go. I don't give a fuck who's up there. We're going to go see your kid. I don't care if she wants you there or not. She's telling you this is your baby. We're going to see that baby. And, went up there, and, I changed the diaper for the first time. As soon as I got there, that dude, he bounced. My brother kind of gave him a mad dog. He was fucking gone. So, I changed the diaper for the first time. This dude sleeps on my chest the whole time. He's a baby. Go over there every day after work. Me and her eventually got back together. But there was just always a weird vibe. This baby looked nothing like me. My mom's like, hey man, I don't think that's your kid. We should get a DNA test. I'm like, dude, get over it. It's my kid, whatever. And she just come home one day, and I'm, holding my kid. She was like, open your mouth. Swab my cheek, open that baby's mouth, swab the kid's cheek. Came back, how it's always like 99.9% negative. No, that shit came back 100% negative that it wasn't my kid. Yeah. So,
yeah, I know when it's I've had a couple friends that have done it, and like they can't give you a 100% positive, but it's like 99.99997 or some shit like that positive. And it's the same way with the negative. Well, I didn't know it was the same way with the negative. I just thought it would be 100% not yours.
Yeah, no, that shit came back. It is not your kid.
That's what it says in it?
Yeah, I mean, not worded that frankly, but it's like, this is not your child. There's no chance that this is your child at all. And, I've already grown a relationship with this kid. He's already, 6-7 months old, I'm going over there every day, buying diapers, holding this kid, buying him food, buying him formula.
Yeah, you fell in love.
Yeah, it's my kid, man. So, I mean, I just decided that, every kid needs a dad. I confronted her with the DNA test. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, I cheated on you. I don't know whose dad is. There could be a few people. I
No.
don't know. Yeah, yeah.
But she
So
didn't bother contacting all the guys to let them know?
I don't know. She was real closed about it. Like she wouldn't talk about it at all. And I was just trying to be there for the kid. Granted, I really did love her. I tried to push the issue a few times, but after essentially so many fuck yous to the face, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just kind of let it go. And I've been raising this dude for the last 10 years as my own. So,
Does he know?
but oh no. Oh no. I don't think I'll ever tell him. I mean, if he comes to me and is like, hey, somebody's seen this shit here,
Yeah. Or what about
I mean,
mom?
anybody,
She's also going to not tell him? Like you're on
as far
same
as
page for
yeah,
that?
yeah, as far as we're concerned, I'm his dad. You know what I mean? I've been
You
there
are.
for him.
You are for sure.
Yeah.
Has the
Anybody could be a
biological father
father. It
ever
takes
has the biological father ever popped up?
No, I think I might know who it is just off of her Facebook friends and people that comment on certain things that don't comment on anything else. Like, I think I know who the dude is because he kind of looks like a couple people, but
A couple people.
yeah, yeah, but there's this one guy in particular. I think it probably is, but I, it's whatever, man. If I push the issue, then it's going to be another issue. So better off, dude could be a piece of shit, heroin junkie, anything. You know what I mean? I'm. Everybody needs a dad. You know what I mean? I'll be his dad. I'm stable. So that's my son, as far as I'm concerned. But then I think she wanted to try to make sure I was locked down. So like as soon as he was born, we had the second one. Like we were going at it. She just dug the heels in my back and wouldn't let me out. So yeah, that's how
Wouldn't let
my
you
second
out.
one. Yeah, yeah. She's like,
Yeah.
nah, you're here. You're catching that lockdown, buddy.
And it
So my
worked.
kids are.
And you got her
Oh
pregnant.
yeah.
Did you
Oh yeah,
test
for sure.
this one?
Oh yeah, but yeah, definitely for sure.
This is
After
the
that
one that
first,
came
yeah,
back that
so
said 9999 yours. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, that dude looks. Yeah, my youngest looks exactly like. First one looks nothing like me. My youngest still got these big ass ears, big ass nose. You know what I mean? The other one, jet black hair, brown eyes. I got blonde hair and green eyes. She's got, green eyes. This dude's got brown eyes and black hair, so he doesn't look like me for sure. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever tell him. I mean, I'm sure he'd appreciate it a lot more once he's older. You know what I mean? Realize, like, hey man, it could have been anybody, but I stepped up. I raised you. You'll appreciate it eventually.
Yeah, he
I'm
will.
sure.
He will. Mm-hmm.
But as far as telling them, I don't know if I'll ever just come out and straight tell them.
So that during all this you become suicidal?
Yeah. The last couple years it was well, I've essentially been sleeping on my couch for the last 8 years. And
why?
Because she was just she's real distant. She never wanted to be around me. Wouldn't want to spend any time with her.
But you're married and staying in the same house?
No, we're not married, but we're definitely staying in the same house. We bought, I bought a house, took in the kids. We all moved in together. But I honestly don't think she ever really loved me. I was just pretty much her security blanket. And that'll make you feel real shitty. And, I spent years trying to fix it, trying to do whatever, bought motorcycles to see if she'd want, go for a ride, sold those, made a big, huge profit, bought a car so she'd try to come ride with me. She still wouldn't come ride with me. refused to spend any kind of time with me.
And you're seeing each other
Yeah.
every day in the same house.
Yeah, yeah. Like anytime we'd have sex or anything, it'd be just real shitty. Like I would just lay there. She'd be like, "Nah, I just give you a blowjob and pop in her earbuds." Yeah, that's a fucked up way to get a blowjob.
Yeah, it is.
Not to sound like
I
Bird,
mean, I'm
but I'm
taking.
feeling real disconnected right now. I'm feeling real disconnected.
You wrote something that stands out here about when you were suicidal. You actually did something.
Yeah. I actually dug my own grave.
You really did that?
Yeah, I put quite a bit of thought into it.
Where'd you dig the grave?
There's some woods behind where I live that overlooks a pond that's down in like a culvert, and it's roughly about 8 feet deep. I covered it in logs, log lined on the inside. It's got a couple of air flutes that come down on the sides and in the front, and like a walkway to come down there. It's covered in woods. My plan was I was gonna just go in there, cover the whole thing in gasoline, light it at one end, and then just shoot myself with a shotgun in there. And then body's gone, I'm gone. You really wouldn't find me unless smoke got ridiculous, and it shouldn't have been too bad. It was all real dry wood, but I put a lot of thought into what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And then, really got to thank my buddy for that shit. This chick at work, when I was a mechanic, she was always trying to fuck me, and I wasn't trying to cheat on my old lady, but because I've always tried to make that shit work. But this chick would just bring in blow and just, "Here, dude, here's a gram, here's a gram, here's a gram. Like, you should let me suck your dick." I'm like, "Nah, but I'll snort your dope." But so get real chatty when you're doing blow. Talking to my buddy one day, telling him how I'm feeling, telling him what's going on. And for whatever reason, he decided he was going to talk to my mom. And she came up and she was all freaked out, crying. And obviously, of course, hearing that kind of shit from one of your kids' friends.
Well, also, I wanted to ask you, at any point, did it cross your mind that your mom will now have no kids?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was going to make it to where it just looked like I was missing. I was going to drive my car way out and catch a bus back and go to my spot to where they, see my car 30, 40 miles away. They think I just rode out on the old lady and the kids, tried to start a new life. Realistically, I'd been close to home and gone. But really thinking about that really messed me up, just leaving my mom with nothing. She really, I'm all she's got, I'm all she's ever really had. Ever since my brother died and her mom died, she's been pretty fucked up, and I'm all she's got left.
And did you have your child at that time?
Oh yeah, I had both kids.
Oh, you did have both.
Oh yeah, this was like 6 months ago, man. Maybe a year.
Whoa. Yeah,
this wasn't that long ago at all.
All right, well then you should definitely go talk to somebody then, because it's great. What stopped you? What was it actually that stopped you? Are you wearing night pants right now, bro?
Not your night pants, but yes, night pants. Sure.
But they are night. What actually stopped you?
I guess it was really just the thought of who would step in to be with my kids. My youngest is autistic and he's nonverbal, so that just worries the hell out of me, anybody that's going to be in his life. And my oldest is a real smart dude. He really gets it. So he's pretty hip to everything that's really going on around him. But like we've never really fought in front of him or anything like that, or talked anything like this shit about him around him. But like, dude definitely knew shit wasn't right. But that was really the main thing, was just the kids and my mom, man. Really, I mean, I get it. I mean, as shitty as it sounds, I understand why some people want to commit suicide, as selfish as it is. But when you're sitting in that shit for so long, you understand it, you know?
Yes.
It's real easy to point a finger and call somebody a coward and this, that, and the other. But you really don't know what's going on in that person's life. I mean, it's really shitty to think about, but I understand why some people do it. But it's definitely not something I can do anymore.
You don't think you won't have that thought again?
I mean, it eventually goes through my head every now and then, but I mean, I'm medicated and everything now. I mean, they put me on all kinds of different antidepressants.
Yeah, you said you had a mental breakdown. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. When I was a mechanic, I felt like I was having a heart attack. It was real hot out. And I'm just stressing out about everything I got going on in my life. The old lady, money, kids. My son just had heart surgery. It was just a lot, and everything weighed down on my shoulders, and I just couldn't breathe. My chest got real tight. And I just walked off the floor of the shop. I went and had to go sit down in my car, turn the air on, everything else. I thought I was having a heart attack. I had to call my old lady to come pick me up. They tried to call an ambulance for me and shit. I told them, no, don't worry about it. And then I went to the emergency room, and they told me I was having like a real bad panic attack. I thought I was full-fledged having a heart attack. But that's really when we all sat down and started talking about everything that's going on, and they put me on all this medicine that actually eventually made me start getting better.
And you really felt the difference?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It took quite a while. I mean, just going from waking up every day, just feeling like the world's on your shoulders and everything depends on you, to essentially just getting a little bit of that, I don't want to say stress off your shoulders, because it's all still there. It's just masked
and managed, but it's managed. You're managing it differently.
Yeah, it's definitely it's really hard to explain, but there were some touch and go moments. We had to go through a bunch of different medicines to try to figure out what was going to work best for me. There's a couple that made me way worse. Worse. Oh yeah. I forget what it was called. I think it was Wellbutrin. They put me on Wellbutrin, and that I had to sell all my guns, get rid of all the weapons in my house. Like, dude, it was bad.
Man.
It was bad. That shit was horrible. Like, I almost committed myself on a 72-hour, that 5150 shit. I almost put myself on that shit. But we're very pro 2A in this house, and as soon as you do that, you'll never be able to own firearms again. So
you just sold.
I knew I'd just. Yeah, I mean, I sold them all to friends so I could buy them back.
Right.
Now, I mean, I got all my stuff back now for the most part, but I mean, I just definitely didn't feel comfortable having it in the house, because anything could have happened at that point. But the medicine definitely did. It definitely did help.
What's the biggest difference? What's the biggest difference you notice?
Just being able to wake up in the morning and not just instantly hate yourself. Like, for the longest, you just wake up and just like, fuck this, fuck the world, fuck everything, And now I can actually wake up and put a smile on my face and, go out and laugh. And that, I would say that was the biggest difference right there, man. It's just the weight being, it just feels like the weight's off your shoulders. You can breathe again.
Have you seen a difference in your relationship?
No, we broke up. I beat up her dad.
Did you just say you beat up her dad?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? What? You mean you beat up your kid's grandfather? Yeah, let's say it like that.
Yeah. I don't know. This was like less than 2 months ago.
What the fuck happened?
Well, she told me that she was going to a birthday party, and this was like 11 o'clock in the afternoon. And then come 3:30 in the morning, mind you, I ain't bothered her all day. Go do your thing, whatever. Come 3:30 in the morning, I'm like, I send her a message like, hey, what's up? Where you at? Are you okay? Are you alive? She never messaged me back, and she said she was going out with her parents. So I messaged her dad. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Is she with you? Is she okay? 30 minutes later, they come hauling ass in the driveway, drunk as fuck, come in the house, making a bunch of ruckus and racket. I told him flat, he come in talking about, let me fucking tell you something. And I've put up with this dude's shit for 10 years. This dude's a fucking dick. And I told him to get the fuck out of my house. It's 3:30 in the morning. You're drunk as fuck. You're going to wake up my damn kid. You got no business being here, coming in here pointing fingers at me, talking shit to me at my house while you're drunk as hell. You could just fucking leave, man. And he wanted to persistently talk shit. After 3 get out of my houses, I was escorting him out of the door, and he pushed me. And I went through my entertainment center and broke my TV. And after I went through an $1,100 entertainment center and broke a $1,000 TV, I fucked him up. Like
smoking taillights, brother.
Yeah, smoking taillights playing. Smoking taillights playing. That's what he should have did.
You get him good? You got him good?
Oh yeah, he was bleeding. I felt horrible. I felt really bad fucking up fucking 50-year-old dude. Like, man, you're 20 years older than me, but you should have fucking listened. You know what I mean?
You're also in your house. He's in your house, and he's pushing you.
Right.
Self-defense, man.
Right.
Come on, Grandpa.
Right. Right.
So that caused that was the final split between you guys. That was it there.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. They've been out drinking all night. She snatched up the kids, went in there, woke up the kids. Mind you, she's drunk as hell.
Yeah. Now they're taking them drunk.
Yeah. Left, threw the kids in the car, took them. They've been in her house for a while, and now she's got her own place. Apparently, she had 10 grand stashed away somewhere for a new down payment on a trailer. So good for her. Must be nice. I've been paying her bills for the last 10 years.
How far away are the kids?
Oh, like 3 streets away. She didn't leave far.
So you're still seeing your children?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I've been trying to be real civil and everything. We definitely got some court coming up for child support and everything here next month. But I mean, I get the kids tomorrow. I have kids all weekend.
Good. We
do every other weekend, and every Wednesday I get them. So I at least see them once a week, and then get them the whole weekend every other weekend. We just hang out, watch the HoneyDew and shit.
All right, I want to shift gears to this interesting thing here at the end. You were just in a movie, and I asked you, were you an actor? And you said, no, I work at Walmart. So how do you end up in a movie?
After my whole little mental breakdown, I've always been really big into history and like World War II and shit. So I went to this, it was a World War II reenactment over in Rockford, Illinois. And, I met a bunch of people out there, and I'm like, this shit's crazy. There's tanks riding around. It's
For
like
real?
straight out of 19. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna ask, what the fuck is a World War II? What part of this is there a battle they're reenact? Like, what the fuck are they reenacting?
Realistically, they essentially do a bunch of different battles. Like they'll do like it's all over the Midwest. I'm sure. I mean, there's different ones all over the country, but like they do a big one over in Ohio where they like recreate the Normandy landings and shit.
They do?
Yeah, they have landing craft come in on Lake Erie, airplanes flying over, artillery going off. It's essentially like a movie, But I mean, they got a ton of videos on YouTube if anybody's interested. But I met all these guys, and they're like, "Hey man, you want to check any of this stuff out?" And they're like, "Hey man, yeah, you can hop right in this tank, check it out, look around." So I jumping in the back of a German half track, they're like, "Here, you want this MG42? Play with this machine gun, man." Like, I'm at home, man. What's up, guys? They're like, "We're always recruiting, man. You more than welcome if you can get over being in the SS,
Oh, you had to be the bad guys?
I didn't have to be, but you'd be surprised the Nazis are way more chill than the Americans during the World War II reenactment.
That's absurd.
I swear. Like, there's so many assholes that do 101st Airborne and 82nd Airborne and shit. But everybody's really cool, and
but also you had a dream you wanted to be in the military your whole life, and now you're getting a little bit of taste of it.
Right. And really what got me in so good with them is, I was a mechanic for 10 years, and their shit was always breaking down.
So you showed them exactly what you could have done for the U.S. military.
Yeah.
You just applied it there to the fake, to the fake military. Yeah. Their half track caught on fire, and I figured it out for them. I was like, "Hey man, this is why I keep catching on fire and overheating." And then that turned into me fixing them. And then I learned how to drive all their half tracks and all their heavy equipment shit. So that turned into, "Hey man, you know how to operate this 10 tons tank. You want to be in this movie and drive this tank in a movie?" And I mean, it was cool. It's the movie comes out sometime next year. It's called Come Out Fighting. It's got Tyrese Gibson, Michael J. White, Dolph Lundgren, Kellen Lutz, a bunch of other people in it. Essentially, I guess some German pilot an American pilot gets shot down behind enemy lines, and we're like trying to catch him, but this all African American tank unit called the Black Panthers, which is an actual unit in World War II. That's like, from what I understand, that's like how they got their name and shit eventually later on down the road. But they come, and I get shot in the face, falling in my half track, and then they come and rescue this pilot and shoot all the Nazis. But I mean, that's good. It was a good time. I've been in another is an independent film called The Adventures of Yamashita's Island. That shit hasn't came out yet. I don't know when that's coming out. None of this you would get to do if you're laying in that fucking grave you dug.
Amen, brother.
Can I ask you this question? Do you ever walk back to that area? You ever walk back and look at it?
All the time. Often. Just imagine what it'd be like, and imagine what everybody else would have to go through. Make you feel real shitty. But luckily, some kids went down there, did a lot of vandalizing, fucked it all up. So it's pretty much unusable now. I couldn't fit my fat ass in there if I wanted to.
Good. Well, Matt, man, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I know this isn't easy. I asked you at the beginning if you'd ever laundry listed your trauma like that, and you're like, no. And I'm telling you, it hits different when you do, when you live through that shit, man. Yeah, you made it through all this, dude. Good for you. Thank you, really. I know you got emotional a few times. This shit's hard to talk about, so I don't know, bro. I'm no professional in any way, but it sounds like you're ready for therapy. I think it'll be a good thing.
for sure. And definitely got to thank you, man. And, on the count of all the fans, there's a lot of us that wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you and your crew. And what you do means a lot to all of us. So if you ever get down, just remember that shit, man. You've saved a lot of lives.
Well, I appreciate you giving me chills over here and get me all emotional. I do. Well, listen, I do get down a lot, just like everybody, man. And I do remember it. So thank you. And thank you for coming on today. This is a really great episode, dude. I got some funny stuff here to share and some really powerful stuff as well. So if any of you, thank you. And if any of you out there, listen, don't think like, I don't know, my story doesn't compare to somebody who did this or that. It's not about that. This show isn't about whose story's worse and better. It's not that. It's about how you process it and the decisions you made back then and why you made them back then, wrong or right, and where you are now. That's where we are in life, all right? So if you or anyone out there has that story that has to be heard, please submit it to honeydewpodcast@gmail.com. You don't need to be a Patreon member. But if you are and you're thinking about sticking around, you can save yourself some money. Subscribe for a year. You get the Honeydew a day early, ad-free, at no additional cost. Thank you again for your support. Come out, see me on tour if you can. Tickets at RyanSickler.com. We'll talk to y'all next week.